Jacob grew up in a small town outside of Sacramento, California. He was only 11 when the family moved from Clovis to a much smaller town east of Lodi. It was a small, one-story home with an unfinished basement. For a long time, he and his brothers joked that the house was haunted. Sometimes late at night, you'd hear strange noises. Things in the home would be misplaced the next day. Voices and doors opening. Jacob was a normal teen. One night when he was still in middle school, Jacob was up late playing video games on his computer. Like most teens, he was on the computer a lot, sometimes way too late at night. One night, Jacob was playing very late, past 2 a.m. He kept hearing weird noises in the hallway. Like stomping, he thought, but not loud. His door handle jiggled a little bit. But Jacob assumed it was his dad, who had a habit of checking all the locks several times a night. And his two brothers liked to play jokes. After one last game around 3 a.m., Jacob decided to get a late-night snack. He opened the door. The hallway was dark and silent. He flipped on the hall light and went into the kitchen. It was a small kitchen with a center island. Behind that island, Jacob saw a figure crouching on the ground. Thinking it was his mother, Jacob said, "Mom, what are you doing down there?" No answer. Remembering the hallway noise and the door handle jiggling, Jacob started feeling on edge. He said, "Mom?" Again, a little louder. The figure shifted and was illuminated by the porch light streaming into the window. It wasn't Jacob's mom. It was a figure on all fours. Its elbows were bent backwards and his legs looked backwards too. He didn't have hands, but he had feet. The part that terrified Jacob the most is that the creature didn't seem to have a face. He was terrified but stuck. He couldn't move. The horrible, faceless creature moved towards Jacob slowly, and suddenly, there was this noise to the left. Before he could turn to look at it, Jacob was pushed back into his bedroom and the door slammed shut. Jacob heard his parents ask what was going on. Jacob swung his bedroom door back open and there was no one there in the hallway. Every single light was on in the house, including the basement and the garage. Even the flashlights were on, and the light on the emergency generator. He'd never been able to explain it. Jacob thought maybe too much caffeine or up too late at night. Could have been a power surge had turned on the lights, but the flashlights were on too. That was the strange part. Jacob never really thought much of it after that. He didn't even notice that the weird late-night noises had completely stopped. It wasn't until years later that he encountered the strange creature again. Jacob and his girlfriend were camping with a group near the San Joaquin River outside of Fresno, California. It was a beautiful spot, and everyone swam in the river during the day and got ready to make s'mores as the sun started going down. There were 4 other couples in the group, snuggled under blankets around the campfire, telling jokes. Mike talked about getting a poker game going in the tent. Jacob's girlfriend's name was Alyssa. She was 19, shy, and funny. Jacob and Alyssa were high school sweethearts. They trusted each other completely. Jacob and Alyssa had been excited to camp near the San Joaquin River, especially because it was so hot in California that summer. They'd been planning the trip for months. While everyone was laughing around the campfire, Jacob and Alyssa decided to go for a private walk down by the water and stargaze. It was a warm night, and the moon was almost full, so it was really bright. Jacob brought a blanket to lay on so they could see the stars without craning their necks. Even though the whole area was illuminated by the moon, Jacob brought along his flashlight just in case. The high school sweethearts were walking down to the riverbank when they heard a rustling noise coming from the low bushes to the left. Jacob tickled Alyssa's side and said, "Boo!" as a small bird flew out from under the brush. They both laughed. "Don't scare me again," begged Alyssa. The couple found a dry patch of sand near the river. Tall grass and bushes almost completely surrounded the spot Jacob found for them to watch the stars. He laid out his fluffy blanket, and Alyssa laid in the crook of his arm as they admired the sky. They were in nature, so they heard noises around them. Nightbirds calling to each other, and raccoons playing on the other side of the river. It wasn't quiet. But both Alyssa and Jacob were familiar with nature and weren't worried about anything, especially this close to a well-traveled campsite. So, when the couple first heard the strange rustling and high-pitched noises coming from the nearby bushes, they didn't think too much of it. But when the sound got a little closer, both Jacob and Alyssa sat up. Jacob scrambled for his flashlight. Before he could find it, Jacob felt Alyssa tense up and scream, "Creature! Creature! Creature!" Just as Jacob found his flashlight, Alyssa pointed toward the rustling bushes. It had backwards legs! Backwards legs! What was that? He pointed the light toward the bushes where the noise was coming from and saw something his brain had almost forgotten. Now, it might have been the shadows, or the sound of nature all around them, making their imagination run wild. But Jacob thought it was the creature from his kitchen all those years ago. But Jacob thought it was the creature from his kitchen all those years ago. He looked closer, hoping to see the beak of a goose. But when Jacob didn't see a face on the creature, he actually screamed. The creature rushed towards Alyssa and Jacob. The couple didn't even think, they just ran. They ran as fast as they could back to their camp, screaming about the creature they saw by the river. They ran as fast as they could back to their camp, screaming about the creature they saw by the river. Everyone in the group laughed at them, said they must have seen a goose or a raccoon, maybe a deer. But Jacob knew what he saw. He knew he'd seen it before. Jacob hugged Alyssa tight, and they both decided a hotel might be a better choice for the night.